All right, so Caitlin's got this design idea here, and I wish she had drawn it in a plan view so we could really just get a flat view of what we need to create. But it basically looks like almost a half circle, and then it flares out at the end. And she started creating it. Let me, oh, hold on. Got a few different views open here, so I gotta get through them. There we go. She started creating it here. I like this end that started happening, but then this kind of goes a little funky. And I know that you guys are taught to create this thing starting component and then the whole model in place thing, but if you go to new family, you'll get the same tools and you can build it outside your model and then bring it into your model. So I'm going to come in here. And this is what you wind up getting is it's the same look basically, but all it is how to create a family instead of working in the project itself. So I'm going to do an extrusion, and with that extrusion here, I've got all these tools over here, and this one is a spline, okay, and then we've also got some different arcs. And depending on how you want this thing to look, we're going to deal with either of these. So you can see I can just start creating arcs. And what I want to do here is really come in, I'm going to draw an arc, and I'm going to look at it for a second and say how big is this thing. So I've got 4'4" to there, and she was trying to get somewhere around 6 feet. That would be about a 3-foot diameter. Okay, so 3-foot diameter. You can see when I get in here, I'm hitting right around 6 feet, and that comes in. And I'm not sure if she was, like if we pull this in a little bit like that. And then if I come in again, start, and radius, something like this, so we get that nice curve happening. Let me pull up the sketch again. So I think that's what she's kind of going for, something like that. If I grab this one here, I can even pull it a little more closed, something like that. So we get this idea happening. And from there I'm going to go offset, and she said 2 foot overall, but it looked like there were 2 heights to this thing. See, there's a top piece, and then she's got 2 foot overall. Now 2 foot I think is a little thin, 24 inches, a little thin. I'm not, again, it's your design, but I would think maybe 30 inches might be a little bit better, but I don't know. So let's see. So if I do that, you can see now the outside edge to the inside edge. We don't want to do it that way because it's pulling it in, okay? So I sometimes get students that are like, well, it doesn't fit now. Let me undo that real quick. So instead, I'm thinking that this is the inside edge, and we're going to go that direction, and that's the outside. So that gives you room to actually sit in here instead of being pulled in. So I'm thinking that the 6 foot is hopefully that inside portion here, okay? And then I'm going to do a line here and a line here, and it looks not too bad, but I think that this should kind of go out a little bit more. So see how this thing will drag it? Look at that. Kind of creates a little bit more of the flare. All right. And then I could do the same with this thing too. I could say, well, let's do that a little bit more. Maybe that's more like it. And the extrusion start and end, I want a thickness of 1 inch, but I want this thing, she's going 3 foot, so I want this thing to start at 35 inches and stop at 3 foot. Apply. check that one. And if we take a look three-dimensionally, you're starting to see this surface, okay? So now I go back into this view, and 3 foot's the top. Maybe that's 30 inches. Maybe we have to deal with that at 30. So let's do this at 2'5", and then 2'6". Apply, and just drops it down. Okay, now with that done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, and it looks like there's something that goes on like right inside here. Okay, so let's do create extrusion again. I'm going to take this arc that I created and I'm going to snap right to it. Look at that. Okay, and then same thing with this one. Snap right to it. Now this one I am going to offset 6 inches, and I'm not going to copy it because it's going to just pull it in then 6 inches. That's fine. Unjoin those. There we go. We're good. Take this guy, pull it in till it hits there. That guy goes there. And I'm going to then do another offset of 1 inch. That will be a copy. Bring that in, bring that in. Get a little, there we go. A couple lines in here, because you have to close these up in order to have an extrusion. And this extrusion is going to start at 4 inches, because I want to somehow create a little toe kick behind that, and it's going to end at this should end at 3 feet, I think. We'll go all the way up through, and then you can put a top one on. And so lines intersect. Where's my lines intersect? There we go. Continue. Okay, so these guys, you have to make sure all your lines are meeting up perfectly. Whenever you get that, just take that little guy. Let's see if that's doing it. And then I'll do it with this one here too. So I'm going to grab this and that. There we go. That and that. Okay, that's more like it. There we go. Now I got a 3D element. And again, jump it up. See how it's starting to become that desk? Alright, so then I take and do a smaller one up on top to set that one up. I then come inside and start building the interior portions of this thing. But there's the base idea of that shape, and see, it looks pretty good, right? So that's the idea. Then when you're done, you hit load in a project, and it will actually let you bring it into the project and set it down. Alright?